Okay. So let's lie down on our backs. So welcome if you've just arrived, you're doing the recording, or if you're doing it live. Let's just take a moment to settle on the floor, to feel the shape of our body that we're making on the ground. And feel your body kind of interacting with the floor. Feel how the floor contacts the body and the body contacts the floor. It's like this relationship between yourself and the ground underneath you. Allow your body to spread out and to release with gravity. Notice the way your legs rest, the way your feet drop out to the sides. Notice the contact of your sit bones and buttocks with the ground. Feel the shape of your back and the parts which lift from the floor and the parts that press into the floor. Notice how your head rests on the ground. And feel your arms on each side. Notice how your arms feel. Feel your fingers softly curling. See if you can let go a little bit more into the jawbone, your cheekbones, your forehead. And take a few really good deep breaths to initiate your breath awareness. A few really deep breaths. And we're going to go on a really nice journey today through some sequence of movements. So let us start then. We're going to start a bit differently today. We won't do the arch and flatten until a little bit later. So I want you to just sense and become aware of your right foot, to notice how it's probably dropping out to the side a little bit. And I want you to imagine your foot was a hand, and I want you to wave with your foot. Just swing it gently back and forth. So it's slightly going inwards and then it's slightly rocking outwards. Like you're waving with your foot. Gently swing your toes from one side to the other, inwards and outwards. And as you do that, just notice what's going on in your hip. Just do that a few times more. Good, and then just let your leg relax. Notice how that feels after that simple movement. And then try that on the other side, so waving inwards and outwards with your left foot. Notice if that feels any different. To wave your foot. Take it nice and easy, never force anything. Notice how that feels in your hip as you wave your foot back and forth. Couple more times. Nice, so then relax your left foot. Now we're going to try what's called invert. We're going to slide the heel gradually up towards the groin area. As you slide your heel up like this, notice how your knee kind of rises up and out to the side into kind of like a half butterfly. Your foot stays on the floor the whole time. And then just slide your heel, like push the heel down again to lengthen out that leg. And then just let that leg go. And try that a few times. You slide your heel up, let the knee just stay out to the side. Feel the weight maybe shifting a little bit to that side. And then pushing down through the heel to softly and smoothly lengthen your leg back out. And then your pelvis drops back to neutral. So just explore that. Very simply sliding that heel up and down, bending at your knee joint, coming into like a half butterfly. Take it nice and easy. So good for your knee joints, your hip joints, even your ankle joint. Let me just do that one more time. Good, and then just let that leg relax. Now we'll practice what's called evert with the same leg, the right leg. So I want you to turn your toes in towards the center and have a go at sliding your heel out to the side a little bit and let your body weight roll to your left. And then slide your heel down to lengthen out your knee again. Try that again. Turn your foot in, slide the heel somewhere up to the side, whatever suits your body. Feel the weight on your left side, and then slide your heel smoothly as you can back down to lengthen out the knee and the leg. So you always start by rolling the foot in and then gliding the heel up. This is why it's good not to do this on a yoga mat. If you're on a yoga mat, just take off the mat and just do it on your carpet. Just practice what's called evert. So your knee's going to be folding in rather than folding out like we did in the last movement. Just try that a couple more times. Turn your foot in, slide your leg up, and then push the heel down on the floor to lengthen the leg. And then just let go and drop for a moment. See if you can do that with less effort. Nice and relaxed. Let me do that one more time. Good. Let that leg relax for a moment. Feel how it feels compared to your left leg. And then try staying with the same leg, your right leg. Go from invert to evert. So we're going to slide the heel up towards the groin. Your knee goes out to the side like a half butterfly. Then we nice and smooth slide the heel down against the floor. And then you turn your foot into the inside and then you glide your heel somewhere to the outside. Feel the right side of your body lifting off the ground. And then slide that heel down. Let your body drop back to the floor. Let your leg relax. And then slide your heel up again towards your groin. It's like a half butterfly. Push down through the heel, slide it down. Turn your foot in, slide the heel out to the side. Maybe even look towards your heel this time. And then slide that heel down, lengthen out your leg. Relax a moment. Just do a couple more of those, going from invert to evert. Smooth as you can. Maybe looking to your foot as you turn it outwards. We do one more of those, one side to the other. Lovely, good. And then just let that leg relax, let it drop back out to the side. Maybe the way it drops to the side is a little bit different. Notice how it feels in the hip, from the buttock and down that leg into the toes. Take a couple of breaths there. All right, so now let's try that on the opposite side, on the left side. So we start with the invert. So you're very simply going to slide your heel somewhere in the direction of your groin. Your knee's going to bend into like a half butterfly. And then just simply slide your heel back down to lengthen out your leg. And then release. And do that a few times, sliding your heel up and down. Really, it's the only way you can let your foot reach the groin is by bending the knee joint. So let's just feel that knee joint just flexing and the heel sliding up and down. Nice and smooth on that left side. Doesn't have to be a big movement. It can be even a mini movement if that suits your body. We could do that one more time. Nice. And take a little pause. So relax your leg for a moment. And let's move now to evert. So we'll turn the left foot in towards the midline and then have a try at gliding your heel somewhere up to the outside. And notice how most of your body weight rolls onto the right side. Maybe even look over your left shoulder there and then push that heel down to slide your leg back down, lengthen out the leg. Good. Try that again. Roll the foot in to start, glide your heel up. Feel the weight rolling to the right, maybe look down that left arm, and then push down that heel to, and just do what feels right for you, just even if it's a micro movement. Don't have to do what I'm doing. Just a few more of those, or a couple more of those everts on its own. How does it feel on this side? Good. And then just take a little pause after that last one. Let your knees soften, your hips soften. And then try going from one to the other. So when you're ready, slide your heel up towards your groin, bending at the knee into like a half butterfly. And then slide your heel down and turn your foot in. Slide your heel out to the side, maybe looking down towards your foot. Slide that heel down. Relax for a moment. Then slide your heel back up towards your groin. Slide it down, slide that foot inwards, slide your out to the side. Notice if you're practicing it again and again, if you can do the movement with less effort. As it glides up and down the floor. Let's just do 2 more of those from invert to evert. Lovely. And after your next one, just take a pause, lengthen out your legs, let the feet drop out. Notice if your feet are dropping out slightly differently. Maybe the feeling of your legs has changed after that last little sequence. Take a couple of good breaths. And then come back to your right leg and just start to slide your heel back up towards your groin. And then come to raising your knee up to the sky so that your foot becomes flat to the floor. And then drop your knee out to the side again and slide it down. Just do that a few times, super easy. So you slide your heel up, you bring your knee to the center, your foot becomes flat. You drop your knee out, you slide your heel down, your leg lengthens. Just do that maybe twice more. Feel the foot flattening and rolling out to the side and gliding down. Do that one more time. The next time your leg is long, just pause. And then try interlacing your fingers behind your head now. Now I'll add an additional movement. So we've got the fingers interlaced behind the head. And we're going to add a lifting of the head as we do that movement with the leg. Okay, so let's do it together. So slide your heel up. As your heel slides up, start to bring your elbows in towards your ears. And as your foot starts to flatten, lift your head off of the ground and look down towards your thigh. And then drop your knee out, slide your heel down. At the same time, you lower your head back to the floor and let your elbows widen. And then repeat, slide your heel up, lift your head with your hands, let your foot flatten as your head comes up. And then drop your knee out to the side, gradually lower your head as your leg lengthens back down. So very simple, just lifting your head, but let your head be lifted with the hands rather than the head lifting itself. Do that once more. So you glide your heel up, then you turn the knee in and you lift your head. Good. The next time that your head is supported by your hands, your knee is in the sky, let's try a different movement from here. So I want you to push from your right foot and just try rolling your body a little bit over to the left. And your elbows stay quite close together. And then arm push through your right foot to roll yourself back onto your shoulders. And just for a moment, let your head drop down to the floor. And then lift your head with your hands. Once again, push through the right foot. Roll yourself over to the left. And arm push through the right foot. Roll your ribs back down. Lower your head softly to the floor. And repeat that a few times, lifting and rolling, and your knee stays quite upright. The head is off the ground because it's being held by the hands as you kind of glide to the left and back. Just explore this nice movement of kind of mobilizing the hips, the pelvis, and the ribs at the same time. So a couple more times. When you're lifting up and over, your elbows are quite close or sort of alongside your ears. And when you bring the head down, the elbows can widen just a touch. And then you repeat it again, lift your head and roll. So there's never any pressure on your neck or head. It's always supported by your hand. Do that twice more. It's one of these nice movements that you can kind of enjoy for quite a nice long time. Just do one more of those. Nice. And the next time your head reaches the floor, just release those hands for a moment. Let the knee drop out, slide it down and away from you. Take a really good rest. Oh, notice if the way you contact the earth is any different. Now become aware of your left leg now. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the head. And I want you to slide your left heel up towards the groin. And then as your leg comes up, start to draw your elbows in and lift your head. And then at the very end, you turn your knee up to the sky and flatten your foot into the ground. And then you let your knee drop out to the side. You slide your heel down as you lower your head back down to the ground and widen your elbows. So just try that a few times. Slide your heel up, lift your head. At the very last moment, lift your knee up and flatten your foot. Drop your knee out, slowly release your head as you glide your heel down. Let's just do that one time more. Moving your head the same time as your leg. Good, and the next time that your head is up, supported by your hands, start to push through your left heel. See how you can roll your body nicely to the right. Your head stays off the floor the whole time. And then push through your left foot to glide yourself back. Lower your head to the floor for a moment. And then repeat. Lift your head, push through your left foot. Roll across the width of your ribs and over to the right. And push your left foot, glide across your body. Gradually lower your head for a moment. Just enjoy that movement. The whole time you feel like you're sort of cupping your head with your hands and holding, fully supporting your head with your arms and your hands as you move. And the movement comes from your foot. Your foot's doing all of this work here. Nice. Just enjoy that movement a few times more. Keep it nice and smooth. We'll do that twice more. Lovely. After your next one, just let your head drop to the floor. Release your arms, let the knee drop out to the side, and just slide that left leg away from you. Take a really good rest. Take a few good deep breaths. So all what we're doing today, we're creating some really nice space in our hips and our ribs. So we're going to go on a really lovely, interesting journey now. So I want you to slide both of your feet up into like a butterfly shape. So both feet into butterfly shape. Then we're going to lift the right knee up, and then we're going to place our left hand on the right kneecap. That's it. And your left leg is in like a half butterfly on the side here. You've got your left hand on your right kneecap. And I want you to start to gently swing your left knee just a little bit to the left and then back to center. And do that a few times where you're gently swinging your knee, starting with a nice small movement. Swinging it gently to the left and back. Notice how your bum comes off the floor as you swing to the left and how it comes back down as you swing back. Bit nice and easy. Rocking that right knee with your left hand. And if it feels right, you could gradually make that movement a little bit bigger. So you swing that a little bit further to the left and back with the help of your left hand. And then start to let when your leg comes back to center. Let your legs swing a little bit out to the opposite side, to the right side, and then over to the left. And you can let your left leg swing with you. So when you go to the right, you go like this. And when you go to the left, you drop the left leg back down again. So your left leg is kind of swinging as you swing your right knee from one side to the other across the width of your pelvis. Nice movement, swinging back and forth. So imagine your knee is kind of like a pendulum that swings from the right and then over to the left. And your left leg is swinging back and forth with you. And if you're not sure, you can have a look at me and just see how my body is swinging from one side to the other. Allowing the left leg just to move how it naturally feels to move with the movement of your right knee. And then sometimes do a little smaller movement from one side to the other. And then sometimes do a bigger movement where you're swinging, maybe a little bit more from one side. Sometimes swing with your right knee, and then sometimes see how you can move yourself with your left foot from one side to the other. Just do that a few times more. We're doing some deep movement on our hips here today. And our ribs. So for that hand on the knee, we're moving our ribs just as much as we're moving our hips and pelvis. Lovely. Okay, then come back to center. Just let that all go. Slide your legs down and rest your arms on the side. Take a really good rest there. Take a few good breaths and notice the way that you connect and relate to the floor underneath you, if that's changed at all. Oh. So then glide both your feet up into the kind of like that butterfly shape again. And then this time we'll bring the left knee up. We'll place our right hand on the left kneecap. The right leg is just resting out to the side in like a half butterfly. That's it. And start small movement. Gently swing the left knee a little bit to the right and then back to center. Just a few times. Keep it nice and small. Notice how it feels already on this side. Soft and easy. You can either stay small, or if it feels right, you could maybe take the left knee or swing the left knee that little bit further to the right. The whole time, keep it nice and easy and gentle. And then you can explore. Once your leg swings to the right, then just let it swing to the left. And when it swings to the left, how your right knee will kind of move up and over with you. Then swing back over to the right again, and your right knee drops to the floor. And then you swing a little bit over to the left, and your right knee comes up. And allow your right leg just to move with the movement of your left leg. But your left leg is kind of creating the movement to start with here. And sometimes you can do like a small movement, and then sometimes you may want to try a slightly bigger movement. Nice and soft and smooth. Sometimes start the movement with the left leg, and then sometimes move the body with the right foot and the right leg. Couple more of those. Lovely. Good. And the next time you come to center, just release your legs, slide your legs down, spread out your arms, take a really good rest on the floor here. Take a few good breaths. All right, so let's slide both the feet up again into like a butterfly, and lift your right knee again, and place your left hand on top. Now this time, I want you to try and keep your left leg grounded. So the left leg is not going to move, and I want you to just try swinging a little bit from one side to the other, but your left leg stays more connected to the ground and doesn't swing. And just gently swing the right knee from side to side. So there's a little bit more resistance of your left leg trying to stay more connected to the ground this time. Notice how, notice the way your back moves against the floor, and see if sometimes you can initiate the movement more from your ribs rather than your knee. Notice, how can I move my back into the floor to create this movement rather than my leg doing the movement on its own. And that left leg the whole time stays a little bit more connected to the ground and more steady. Nice. Good. Then come back to center. Rest that right leg on the floor for a moment, and let's just switch over the legs. So we'll lift the left knee up, and you place your right hand on your left kneecap. And now this right leg stays quite stationary, or even more grounded to the earth. Less movement on the right side, and just swing a little bit now your left knee from one side to the other. Your right leg is gently pressing down to help it stay a little bit more rooted to the earth. So I'm not going to be able to swing as far. And I want you to see how your shoulder blades swing from one side to the other. See if you can create this movement a little bit more from your back rather than from your leg. Like, how can my back press into the floor to sort of help me swing my leg from side to side? Just explore that. Take it nice and easy. Nice, everyone. Nice, and then just let that go. Place that foot, and let's let your legs slide down for a moment and take a really good rest. Sensing into how your body relates to the floor after what we've done so far, if it feels any different. Take a few really good quality breaths. And now let's slide the legs up again. Maybe the way we're sliding already feels a lot lighter. And once again, we'll take the right knee up and we'll hold it with our left kneecap. And then start to swing your leg again from one side to the other and let your left leg swing with you. This time I want you to let your head gently turn in the opposite direction of your body. It doesn't have to be a big movement, it can just be gentle, but your head is swinging in the opposite direction. Sometimes you can do like a few little micro movements, very gently from one side to the other. And then sometimes if you felt right, you could go for some bolder movements. Whatever you do it nice and loving and soft and easy. You start to feel any tension, just ease off, make it lighter, softer. Nice. Good, and then just let that go for a moment. Maybe just rest with your feet together in like a butterfly, or legs can be straight, whatever feels right. Take a breath or two. And we'll switch to the other side. So we'll bend the left knee, rest your right hand on your kneecap, and start to swing gently from one side to the other. Your right knee can swing naturally with you in the movement to help you move with more ease, but your head is turning in the opposite direction gently. Sometimes do some smaller movements, so you're rocking more gently. And then sometimes do some bolder movements if that feels okay for you. Nice. And then come back to center, place that foot on the ground and just take a good rest. Slide your legs down and away from you. Spread out your legs and let go into the floor. Maybe take a few breaths in through your nose, some long breaths out through your mouth. Take a really good rest. Give your toes and fingers a little bit of a wriggle. Once again, take your feet together in like the butterfly, and we'll bring the right knee up and the left hand on your right kneecap. But now you're going to let your left leg straighten a little bit more. So you've got your left hand on your right kneecap, your left leg is a little bit straighter rather than in like a half butterfly. And now start to swing your leg to the left, maybe a little bit further if it feels right, and then swing your leg over to the right. And now we're going to change the movement of our right arm. So as you swing your leg to the left, just let your right hand come towards your lower back, like you're touching your lower back. And then as you swing your leg to the right, let your right arm go up, and maybe have a look up at your right hand. And then as you swing your leg to the left, you can even slide your leg forward and your right hand comes more to touch your lower back. And as you swing your leg to the right, that right arm slides up behind you. Maybe look up at your hand. Your head might even lift a little bit there. Just let your hand like swing towards your lower back as you go to the left and up to the sky as you swing to the right. And you can just let your head sort of roll over that arm as you roll the arm up. So your arm is flowing with this movement of your body swinging from side to side. You may want to glide that knee further forward so you can roll onto the side a bit more and your hand touches your back. Basically, your right arm is going behind you when you swing to the right, and then it's if you can maybe touch your bottom with your hand as you swing to the left. So arms going up and down like a pendulum. How can I do this with least possible effort? Just gliding with the contact with the floor. We do that one more time. Nice, everyone. And then just come back to lying on your back. Lovely. Slide those legs down. Take a really good rest on your back. Feeling how that right side feels compared to your left. And what contact you're making with the ground right now. A good quality breath. Right, so now let's slide the heels up into like a butterfly, and then lift your left knee, place your right hand on your left kneecap, and then let's straighten out that right leg. Just let your right leg lengthen down. And then as I swing my knee to the right, my left hand is going to kind of glide towards my lower back like this. And then as I swing my leg gently to the left, my left arm comes up so that maybe my ear starts to roll onto that arm. And I just let myself swing gently back and forth with the movement of my leg. Arms gliding and caressing across the floor. Making it soft and light. How can I make this movement with the least possible effort? Nice, everyone. Let's do that a few times more. Some deep work going on here in our ribs, our pelvis, our hips. We do that one more time from side to side. And come to lying on your back again. Give your body some space. Spread out your arms and legs. And let everything go for a moment. Notice the way you're resting on the floor. Now, the great thing about somatics is you always can find your own way to make things easier. So it doesn't always have to look like my posture looks or my movement looks. And if you find there's a way that's easy for your body to move in that similar movement, then do what feels right. So now we'll bend our knees, get your feet flat on the floor. And I want you to take your arms, like let your arms hover up behind you with your palms facing the sky, if that's okay. Feel the arms resting behind you and start to practice your arch and flatten. So as you inhale, you gently arch your back. As you exhale, you gently flatten your back. And just explore that a few times with your arms behind you. Inhale to arch. Exhale to flatten. Each time you arch, feel the ribs opening, your chin gently tucking in. And each time you flatten, I want you to see if you can lengthen those arms, maybe that little bit further behind you. Each time you arch, your arms shorten a little bit. Each time you flatten, your arms lengthen a little bit. Just explore that a few times. Right, so then just let your arms come back over alongside you for a moment, keeping the knees bent, keeping the feet flat. Take a moment just to rest your arms. Right, so then take your arms back behind you. Your feet maybe a touch wider than hip width. Now we're going to try rolling from one side to the other. So I want you to push down maybe through your right foot, roll onto your left side, but let both of your arms come over. Your head is off the floor probably, and then you roll yourself back, and then you roll yourself over to the other side. And roll yourself back, and maybe pushing with the opposite foot, and then notice how you can nicely lengthen through each side of your body as you swing from one side to the other, maybe with the help of your foot. Just create those lovely sort of side opening movements as you, how I can create a little bit more length through each side of my body by maybe pushing through the opposite foot, lengthening through the upper arm that little bit more. You might even want to pause when you're on one side to get that little bit more length between your ribs and pelvis. And just swing nicely from one side to the other. Your head can either rest on your arm or it can lift slightly off the floor, whatever feels right for you. Notice as we do this from side to side, maybe it feels easier in the arms. Just try it maybe once or twice more from side to side, but if it's enough for you already, you can rest. Such a nice movement. Nice. And after that next one, just lie down on your back again. Well done, everyone. Slide your legs down, rest your arms alongside you, and take a moment just to relax and let go into the floor. A few good quality breaths. dropping within yourself. We'll have one more movement in this sequence today. So let's bend the knees. Take your arms behind you like this. Now you might want to watch me to start with. Now I'm going to swing my knees to the left and I'm rolling over. And then I'm going to just slide up and just let my arms come like this. And then I'm going to slide down. Now across myself like this and swing to the other side. Let my body and my arms slide off the floor, coming up. Arms slide down. Come across the body. Sliding up. Just feel how your arms are sliding up and down, round and across your body. And how you can bring yourself up. Just enjoy that movement as you swing from one side to the other. The least possible effort there. How can I do this movement with the least possible effort? Gliding across my body. Just do that maybe once more. Well, this feels really good. I could spend a lot of time doing this. If you want to do it one more time, otherwise the rest. There's some deep movement in our shoulders and our whole bodies here, and learning how to roll up more easily. Nice, everyone. Great, and then lie down on your back. For the final time, spreading out your arms and legs. Take a couple of breaths in through your nose. And a few breaths out through the mouth. Making sure you're comfortable now for a final resting. And just get a sense of the width of your ribs as you lie on the floor, the length of your arms. Feel the width of your pelvis, the legs just dropping out from the hips. Notice the way your toes drop out to the side. Notice the way your back connects to the ground. Notice your quality of breathing after the practice today. Let your breath slow down, find its own natural rhythm. And feel the weight of your body just surrendering into the ground underneath you. My mind is like an empty, clear, spacious sky. My open awareness just embraces this moment, the way my body connects to the floor, openness of the mind, breathing. Embrace this moment fully and just let yourself go completely. into a deep state of stillness. Like a deep meditation. Well, you're welcome to stay in your relaxation a bit longer. Those of you moving on with the day like myself, to start to wiggle your fingers and toes and move your head a bit from side to side. Notice the lightness of your neck as you move your head. Notice how free your neck feels. Maybe bend your knees and swing your pelvis a bit from side to side. Notice the lightness of your pelvis and the sides. And come back to center. Maybe take those arms behind you and notice how light your arms and shoulders feel. Maybe go up and down a couple of times. Very nice. And maybe from what we've practiced today, just have a try at rolling yourself over and up to sitting upright. And let's come up to standing. Take your time to come up to standing. And just explore the way you stand, like feel yourself on your feet, feel the chest kind of quite naturally lifted after our class. And just try going from one side to the other with your legs. Maybe touch your opposite knee with your hand, kind of like we did on our backs here. Notice quality of balance. Maybe try raising your arms up as you lift one foot. How does that feel? Nice, great. So explore some beautiful routines today. Thank you everyone for joining me. Any questions? I'm here. Hope you feel the benefits through this day longer.
Thanks, Emma.
Thank
Lovely.
you.
Thanks, guys. Nice session. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you next time. Bye, everyone.